Hello and welcome to the Archie Luxury program. Today I'd like to talk about a very good email I received the other day, and I think this just sums up a very good point. And I'll just read it to you. Hi Archie, I was watching the video on the Descartes collection, and I have to agree with you that collecting the classics or signature models is best. But that got me thinking, is there a classic of each classic? E.g., Reverso is the classic, the Grand Date, the Sun Moon, or take the Calatrava. Is the classic, say, a 5119? The 5119 is a Calatrava with a hobnail bezel and Romans around the dial with sub-second at 6. Or is the classic just the range, say any Calatrava? I thought that might make for interesting discussion. Love the show, keep the videos and strong opinions coming thick and fast. Thanks, Thomas. And what's the answer to that? What is the classics? Well, I think the classics are any fucking watch that Archie Luxury owns. How's that for an answer? Any watch that Archie owns is the one to have. No, let's be realistic here. I can't be an arrogant fucker all the time. No, I think the classics are models which are very, very, they're the signature lines of the brand. In my case, I've got a Calatrava 5107, and the 5107 digresses from the classic Calatrava line in the sense that it has crown guards. And it has a smooth bezel, which is correct for a Calatrava, although the hobnail bezel is equally as correct. And it does tend to have it doesn't have the sub-second at 6. But in my case there, I think you've got to look at each of those classic lines and decide for yourself which model do you love. And to be completely frank and honest with you, Archie buys everything second hand. He doesn't buy new because he gets fucking ripped off by paying retail. Retail is for suckers, to quote Kramer from Seinfeld. And this is the thing. Beggars can't be choosers. When you're a second hand buyer, you can't always get whatever you want. You've got to pick the model that comes up at the right time for the right money. And in my case, the 5107, I'll be honest with you, how could you say you don't love it? It's a beautiful Patek. It's in white gold. It's classic Calatrava with a very modern flair. The size and the fact that it has the crown guards for the crown is just absolutely modern and beautiful. And for me, the thing I really loved about my 5107 was that it was a Patek Calatrava, which was automatic and had a date. And that really, I think in a Calatrava is a great thing to have. So in many ways, there is no wrong one to have there. I must say, I've also had a quartz Calatrava, and that really, the quartz movement went against the grain of the Patek Philippe. And that, I think, even though that piece, it was a 3944, which was very classic hobnail bezel, 33mm size, and it had the sub-second, didn't have the sub-second, but had the Times Romans on the dial. That piece was technically wrong. So you've got to really assess it for yourself there. And in my case there, the next piece, the next major piece is my Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date. And that's the thing I loved about the Reverso Grand Date was it was such a big, modern type piece. However, it had the Art Deco charm. And when I saw the Reverso Grand Date, I just loved it. And every time I saw the gentleman who owned it, I just wanted to look at it again. And I asked him, what is the name of that model? What complicated? It just looks so beautiful. And really, at the end of the day, that's what having a good classic watch is all about. It's having some beautiful models, and it doesn't have to be the original interpretation of that model. It can be what model in that line that you really love. And at the end of the day, your collection is to give yourself pleasure. And if you love the look of a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date, or you love a Sun Moon, well, that's for you to decide. It's your money. You can buy what the fuck you like. And I think that's probably the most important thing. But I like to keep my pieces I buy. I like to buy the signature models in the range, and I think that adds that gives me pleasure to know that I've got a Patek Calatrava, a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso, I've got a Rolex sports watch, I've got the Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon with the acrylic glass, I've got an AP, I've also got a Cartier Panther, which is a model which is quartz and a big no-no for many collectors, but I like the model, and that at the end of the day is the most important thing. I'm Archie Luxury. Tell me what your opinion is, and thanks for watching this clip.